Continuation of document requirement for KYC. Attested self or gazetted officer copy of any one of the following valid and current documents having photograph: passport, PAN card, voter ID card, driving license issued by respective state road transport authorities in India, learner license issued in India, and licenses issued by foreign countries are not permitted, identity card issued by central or state governments, armed forces or paramilitary services, public sector undertakings to their employees subject to satisfaction of postmaster. IDs issued to civilian residents by army or police are not accepted. Letter from a recognized public authority or public servant verifying the identity and residence of the customer to the satisfaction of postmaster. UIDAI Aadhaar card, letter of acknowledgement for having applied Aadhaar card is not accepted. Also, telephone bill of not more than 3 months old, bank account statement, letter from a recognized public authority, electricity bill of not more than 3 months old, ration card, letter from employer subject to satisfaction of postmaster. Some close relatives, example wife, son, daughter and parents etc., who live with their husband, father or mother and son or daughter as the case may be, may find it difficult to undertake transactions with the post office as the utility bills required for the address verification are not in their name. In such cases, the postmaster can obtain an identity document and a utility bill of the relative with whom the prospective customer is living, along with a declaration from the relative that the said person, prospective customer wanting to undertake a transaction, is a relative and is staying with him or her. The postmaster can use any supplementary evidence such as a letter received through post for further verification of the address. It may, however, be kept in mind that the purpose of this instruction should only be to establish the identity of the customer and not to cause any undue hardships to individuals who are otherwise classified as low risk customers. Relationship with a business entity like a company, firm, trust and foundation should be established only after conducting due diligence by obtaining and verifying suitable documents. Copies of all documents called for verification should be kept on record. Post offices should obtain information on the purpose and intended nature of the business relationship. Post offices should exercise ongoing due diligence with respect to the business relationship with every client and closely examine the transactions in order to ensure that they are consistent with their knowledge of the customer, its business and risk profile. Post offices should ensure that documents, data or information collected under the customer due diligence process is kept up to date and relevant by undertaking reviews of existing records, particularly for higher risk categories of customers or business relationships. When a business relationship is already in existence and it is not possible to perform customer due diligence on the customer in respect of business relationship, post offices should terminate the business relationship and make a suspicious transaction report to FIUIND. In the circumstances when there is reason to believe that the true identity of the customer, individual or business entity, is not known, the post office should also file an STR with FIUIND. Politically exposed persons, PEPs, or individuals who are or have been entrusted with prominent public functions in a foreign country. Example, heads of states or of governments, senior politicians, senior government, judicial, military officers, senior executives of state-owned corporations, important political party officials, etc. Post offices should gather sufficient information on any person or customer of this category intending to undertake a transaction and check all the information available on the person in the public domain. Post offices should verify the identity of the person and seek information about the source of wealth and source of funds before accepting the PEP as a customer. The decision to undertake a transaction with a PEP should be taken at a senior level. Post offices should also subject such transactions to enhanced monitoring on an ongoing basis. The above norms may also be applied to transactions with the family members or close relatives of PEPs. The above norms may also be applied to customers who become PEP subject to establishment of the business relationship. These instructions are also applicable to transactions where a PEP is the ultimate beneficial owner. Further, in regard to transaction in case of PEPs, it is reiterated that post offices should have appropriate ongoing risk management procedures for identifying and applying enhanced CTD to PEPs, customers who are family members or close relatives of PEPs, and transactions of which a PEP is the ultimate beneficial owner. Procedure under KYC for undertaking business. Payment to beneficiaries under money transfer. For payment to beneficiaries, the identification documents as mentioned above should be verified and a copy retained. The copy of identification documents obtained should contain current and legible photograph of beneficiaries. Further, in the event of a beneficiary being discovered to have received funds on the basis of a photo ID which did not support his or her photograph, action would also be initiated against the post office. Thereafter, in addition to this, the identification requirements for cash payment to beneficiaries shall also include biometric identification of the beneficiary. This stipulation will ultimately be linked to UID which it is fully implemented. A cap of $2,500 has been placed on individual remittances under the scheme. Amounts up to 50,000 may be paid in cash. Any amount exceeding this limit shall be paid only by means of check, DD, PO, etc. or credited directly to the beneficiary's bank account. However, in exceptional circumstances where the beneficiary is a foreign tourist, higher amounts may be disbursed in cash. Only 30 remittances can be received by a single individual during a calendar year. Purchase of foreign exchange from customers. For purchase of foreign currency notes and or travelers checks from customers for any amount less than rupees 50,000 or its equivalent, photocopies of the identification document need not be obtained. However, full details of the identification document should be maintained. If the post office has reason to believe that a customer is intentionally structuring a transaction into a series of transactions below the threshold of rupees 50,000, the post office should verify identity and address of the customer and also consider filing a suspicious transaction report to FIUIND. For purchase of foreign currency and or travelers checks from customers for any amount equal to or in excess of rupees 50,000 or its equivalent, the identification documents as mentioned in the list of acceptable documents above should be verified and copies retained. Payments made to customers for purchase of foreign currency. Request for payment in cash in Indian rupees to resident customers towards purchase of foreign currency notes and or travelers checks from them may be acceded to the extent of only $1,000 or its equivalent per transaction. Request for payment in cash by foreign visitors or non-resident Indians may be acceded to the extent of only $3,000 or its equivalent. All purchases within 1 month, that is within 30 days from the date of last transaction, may be treated as single transaction for the above purpose and also for reporting purposes. In all other cases, post offices should make payment by way of account payee, check, demand draft only. Where the amount of forex tendered for encashment by a non-resident or a person returning from abroad exceeds the limits prescribed for currency declaration form, the post office should invariably insist for production of declaration in CDF. In case of any suspicion of money laundering or terrorist financing, irrespective of the amount involved, enhanced customer due diligence should be applied. Whenever there is a suspicion of money laundering or terrorist financing, or when other factors give rise to a belief that the customer does not in fact pose a low risk, post officers should carry out a full-scale CDD before undertaking any transaction for the customer. Sale of foreign exchange to customers. In all cases of sale of foreign exchange, irrespective of the amount involved, for identification purpose, the passport of the customer should be insisted upon and sale of foreign exchange should be made only on personal application and after verification of the identification document. A copy of the identification document should be retained by the post office. Payment in excess of rupees 50,000 towards sale of foreign exchange should be received only by crossed check drawn on the bank account of the applicant's firm, company sponsoring the visit of the applicant, banker's check, pay order or demand draft. Such payment can also be received through debit cards, credit cards, prepaid cards provided KYC, AML, CFT guidelines are complied with. Sale of foreign currency or issue of foreign currency travelers checks is within the limits credit or prepaid cards prescribed by the bank. The purchaser of foreign currency or foreign currency travelers check and the credit, debit, prepaid card holder is one and the same person. All purchases made by a person within 1 month, that is within 30 days from the date of last transaction, may be treated as single transaction for the above purpose and also for reporting purposes. For sale of foreign exchange to a person within his or her eligibility through more than one trial within 30 days or for a single journey or visit abroad, post offices may receive second and subsequent payments only by crossed check drawn on the bank account of the applicant's firm, company sponsoring the visit of the bank, applicant's check, pay order, demand draft Such payment can also be received through debit cards or credit cards or prepaid cards provided KYC AML CFT guidelines are complied with. Sale of foreign currency, issue of foreign currency travelers checks is within the limits. Credit or prepaid cards prescribed by the bank. The purchaser of foreign currency or foreign currency travelers check and the credit or debit or prepaid card holder is one and the same person. All purchases made by a person within 1 month, that is within 30 days from the date of last transaction, may be treated as single transaction for the above purpose and also for reporting purposes. For sale of foreign exchange to a person within his or her eligibility through more than one drawal within 30 days or for a single journey or visit abroad, post offices may receive second and subsequent payments only by crossed check drawn on the bank account of the applicant's firm or company, sponsoring the visit of the applicant or bank's check or pay order or DD or debit card or credit card or prepaid cards if the total rupee payment including payments on early drawals exceeds rupees 50,000 on the second or subsequent drawals. Encashment certificate wherever required should also be insisted upon. Monitoring